All right. Hello and good morning, Crystal. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. I hope you are well as well.
I am, and I know I'm frozen, just like I told you. So I'm gonna
No
go ahead and
problem.
I'm gonna turn off my camera just to avoid any distractions. But Crystal, we've been having a great conversation off the recording, and I would love for us to continue that. So if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your professional experience.
So I have a lot of experience dealing with like
Mhm,
contractors, vendors, technicians, and stuff like that. Like I told you before, my
mhm.
family actually had their own reconstruction company. So that's something that I've been in since I was like 15 years old. We actually had that company for 8 years. So I work with whether it was customers, technicians, contractors. Whether it was building the contracts, just multitude of things. I actually also have experience with project management as a project lead, things of that nature. Like I said, dealing with technicians, I've literally been doing those type of roles for over 10 years. So lots of experience, whether it was dealing with their schedules or the project or dealing with the customers or whatever the case may be. I have lots of experience.
Absolutely. And I love that. And thank you again for sharing that with me and sharing that with the hiring team as well. And that's extremely key, right? I think the fact that you've worked in more or less this type of industry or role for quite some, I would say over the last 10 years or so, you have those
Mhm.
transferable skills. You know how to communicate and dispatch those technicians, and enduring sometimes some difficult situations. So um, I'm sure you've dealt with that during your time there.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about, your dispatching, right? Because I know that you were connecting with technicians previously. So what was really, or put into perspective like this, what was your day to day over at T&W Air Conditioning? What did that look like?
So my day to day over at T&W looks like where the technicians, I will come in the morning. I had to come in at 7 o'clock. I will come in the mornings and basically would assist the technicians with getting out the door. So whether they're bringing products back, because we actually have a warehouse that we worked with that was in our building. So whether it was bringing products back that I had to check back in with the warehouse manager, we also had contract employees as well, so whether they were coming in and asking who would they be working with today, giving the contract employees their schedule for whatever technician we assigned them to. Also, just if they needed more material for a job, making sure that I put in a service request for that with the warehouse manager, creating a document for him to be able to pull whatever it is that we needed, and putting it into, we actually use Service Pro for that. We will put in the information into Service Pro and create a ticket for us to be able to get whatever product is needed. If that product isn't in the warehouse and it was something that I could order, I would go ahead and order those supplies for them to be shipped as soon as possible. Once we got the technicians out the door, then I would then proceed with calling back customers if they had any issues, if they wanted reschedule, if they just, basic questions of where's the technician or what time he'll be here, or, if they just had any issues from the previous day before. And then once that was completed, we're calling the customers back, just going in and making sure that we don't have any technicians that put in PTO time, adjusting their time. Um, as far as, say, for instance, someone didn't put their time in for that day, I would have to go into like NetSuite or Service Pro and just look up where they were with our GPS system that we use for the truck, just looking up the truck to see where it was from whatever job they worked at the previous day before and putting their time in for them. And on Fridays, every Friday, I would have to go through and submit the time so they can be paid.
Wow. It definitely sounds like you had your hands full in that position.
Yes, yes, yes.
Which is good, right? I think being
Yes,
not
I
being
love
busy,
being
but
busy.
there you go.
I'm I'm actually one of those people that believe that the busier you are, the faster the time goes by. So
I agree. I agree. I'm the same way. When I have nothing to do, I'm like, I need to do something.
Yes,
Let's
I'm
be
one of
busy
those
here.
people going over like, hey, do you need any help with anything? I'm
Oh,
always, yeah, like I said, working since I was young, I have that, I guess, old school work ethic.
there you go. There you go.
So,
That's all that's
yes,
to it. And that's
yep,
definitely key, right? It sounds like you're a
yep,
key player, a key team player, and wherever you're needed, you'll be there to support. So, and
absolutely.
I appreciate you sharing that because it just shows your work ethic and totality. So thank you
Yes.
again for that. Now I want to talk a little bit about some systems. I know that you mentioned a few as well, but any other systems that you're familiar with or have used?
Yes, so I have used Salesforce.
Mhm.
I'm very advanced with like all Microsoft, whether it's Word, PowerPoint, Outlook. I've also used like as far as budgeting and stuff like that, I've used Smartsheet. And I actually use as far as for financial, I've used QuickBooks.
Perfect. Oh, QuickBooks. Do you do payroll at all? Have you done payroll or?
Well, I just implemented that. My dad, like I said, through their company when I worked for him, they use QuickBooks. So I would just input the information into the system, and then he would go in and make any changes that needed to be made. So I was doing more the data entry of inputting the information into QuickBooks.
That makes sense. Okay, okay. Well, hey, you have some experience with QuickBooks.
Yeah.
That's more than I have. Um, all right, awesome. Well, just two more questions to wrap it up here. In reference to any vacation or any appointments that you have coming up, do you have any or do you need any time off within the next 30 to 60 days at all?
Um, I don't have anything scheduled besides my son's graduation for
Okay.
the rest of this year. My son graduates college next month on the
Oh,
18th. So the only days that I would need would be the 18th and the 19th of May. But outside of that, I don't have anything scheduled for this year, next year. That's the
yeah.
only important thing for me right now.
All right. Well, hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. And congrats to your son as well.
Thank
That's
you.
major.
Yes, it is. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yep, he
Yes,
works
you're
hard.
I can tell. And hey, and kudos to you, Mama. Getting him through the door there, I'm sure it wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't. I feel like I had to drag him by his ears, like, we're gonna do this.
There you go. Hey, you got into the finish line. So again,
Yes,
kudos to you.
thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
absolutely, absolutely. And then, my last question as far as starting a new position, how soon were you looking to start?
Yesterday.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, hey, we will definitely do our best to get you all to, the client as soon as we
Okay.
can.
Okay.
But I want to thank you for, all the details that you provided me. I definitely got more information about your skill set. So it excites me
Thank
that much
you.
more.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I really greatly
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Well, Krystal, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here.
Okay.
If you don't mind, stay with me really quickly. I want to
Okay.
chat with you.
Yes.
Thank you.